7:35 on this July 15th. On the phone with us now is a good friend, the Republican Party of Arkansas Chairman, Doyle Webb. Sir, welcome.
Dale, I love it when you say I'm your good friend, because I am, and I'm a friend to all of Baxter County and Mountain Home. I'll tell you that.
Well, you're always welcome up here, Mr. Chairman. It's always good to see you and always good to visit with you. And you do a lot for our state that people, you keep a lower profile, and but you do a lot of work behind the scenes, helping all of our candidates, helping our elected officials, and just keeping the state running for the Republican Party of Arkansas.
Well, thank you. And you know I'm about 5'6", so I can only keep a low profile.
I did say that.
Joe LeBlanc and Nelda Speaks and I, we're all low profile.
There you go.
Okay?
There you go. Hey, I was looking at the list of guys running for president, the list of people, I should say, because Carly Florina's in there, but your name's not on there. You're not running for president? You're about the only one.
I'm gonna announce Saturday night
there
that
you
I
go.
have decided not to seek the office of president.
There you go.
Okay? I think we have enough good candidates. I think we have a great diversity of candidates. When people say the Republican Party is all middle-aged white guys, well, just look at our presidential candidates.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Carly, a successful woman. You've got Marco Rubio, a Latino, Hispanic. You've got Ben Carson, a very brilliant, successful surgeon. Jeb Bush, accomplished in his own right. Governor Mike Huckabee, what do I say about him and all that he did for Arkansas? So, we are a party that is bringing diversity to this selection process, clearly.
When having this many candidates, is that a good thing?
I think it is a good thing. And let me say this, I don't think you will see us going into December with this many candidates. I think they will go to narrowing after the first debate, which will be August the 6th in Cleveland.
Right.
At that time, 10 of the candidates will be all that can make it to that stage. And it may be obvious why they're the ones that made it to the stage.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean the other candidates couldn't be good vice presidential candidates or maybe secretary, cabinet level people. But I think it will start narrowing after the August 6th primary. Okay, but it's good to have people out there giving their ideas, contributing to the whole. They all have their constituencies, and they're speaking to the issues of the day.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute. The issues of the day, Mr. Chairman. When Barack Obama was elected in 2008 on the first term, I thought, okay, we can handle this for 4 years. But then in 2012, when we had another round of it, I thought, oh, my goodness. In my opinion, I don't know that I've ever seen such a racial mess since the 60s. I remember the incidences in the 60s. I was living just outside of St. Louis, and it was not fun. And it seems like starting about mid-70s that the people of other races were getting along. I mean, even your television commercials were showing African-American folks having coffee to this day with white folks, and sitting down being friendly. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it just seems like we have a lot of tension racially, especially after Ferguson and Baltimore and what's going on in that fashion. And in my opinion, had we had a Republican in office, I don't think you'd see that. I think they'd nipped it in the bud, and it wouldn't have got the national attention. See where I'm going with this?
Oh, I am. I'm afraid our president has missed a great opportunity to heal this nation further. Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
I celebrate what occurred in Charleston as far as how the victims' families reacted to the killer there. They approached it as people of faith, people of forgiveness. It was an isolated incident. There are crazed people out there all over this world, and we can't blame one race or another, the whole race, for those crazies that are out there. But I'm with you. I think we've made a lot of progress. We as the Republican Party, we're rooted in Lincoln, Frederick Douglass. Martin Luther King was a Republican.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Civil Rights Act would not have passed without Republican votes. So, it's very concerning where we are today. But once again, on a one-on-one basis, I do a lot of traveling around the state. We have lots of great relationships with people of all ethnic backgrounds. I just wish our president would have stepped forward to be a healer rather than a divider.
Exactly. That would be the president's role. Let's bring this country back together. What happened in Charleston, they were even commenting, sir, that there was no violent protest, no policemen got hurt, they didn't have to bring out riot gear. And then somebody outside Charleston, what about that flag? They had to blame something, and somebody somewhere had to stir something up racially.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. We just have to point. There has to be a scapegoat.
Yeah.
And we've just got to get over that. I think once again, the victims' families showed America how we should deal with all of these situations. We should, let me say this, and you probably think less of me now, but I am a lawyer, okay? But so many times we run to get a lawyer to file suit or to take action when that should be our last recourse rather than our first recourse.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I think that's very important.
Speaking of lawyers, 5 lawyers on the Supreme Court changed the course of history with the same-sex marriage issue. And my concern now is my question for our elected officials. Colorado, the people, voted in recreational marijuana, medical marijuana, so you can do marijuana in Colorado. But yet it's a national felony. It's against the law in the United States. Now, set that aside. California and Arkansas both voted no to same-sex marriage, but the Supreme Court steps in and says you can't do that. The people voted in Colorado to vote something in that's illegal, yet we, the people in California and Arkansas, voted something out that's unnatural, and yet the Supreme Court stands up for the unnatural and not the illegal in Colorado.
You have laid out the complication of the court. Clearly, I'm a states' rights person. I'm a supporter of the people. Clearly, I'm a supporter that there is an amendment process to the Constitution rather than the Supreme Court making law. That's way outside the bounds. I know recently y'all had Justice Scalia in Mountain Home.
Yes.
What a tremendous jurist he is. I hope that we never give up on this issue, just like we've not given up on Roe versus Wade, that we will eventually see a change occur in the Supreme Court and a relook at these issues clearly. Let me throw, you talk about the recreational marijuana in Colorado. What about the sanctuary cities where cities are refusing to comply with federal law as well? And a federal law that's important for the whole nation, okay? Once again, that may be a local issue, but it's beyond the scope of what's right and wrong as far as our federal law goes, as far as the sanctuary cities. I elk hunt when I get a chance to elk hunt, I go to Colorado. And in some ways, I'm a little concerned about going out there now.
Really? What ways?
Well, when you have DWI, you have a lot of drivers, and they've had an increase in crime, driving crime, and things like that because of the medical marijuana issue. I'm a little concerned about that. That doesn't mean I won't go, but I'm with you. I was very surprised by that. I was just surprised by the Obamacare decision. I was surprised by the decision on the marriage. I think it's first off, I think it's a sacred institution.
Right.
And secondly, I think they had to reach beyond the bounds of the law somewhere else to get the decision, to come down with the decision that they did. And I respectfully disagree, but I strongly disagree. And I celebrate those individuals who have said, you know, because of my religious beliefs, I can't do this or I can't do that. I respect those religious beliefs, and I believe our religious freedoms will soon be under attack.
Yeah.
And that we will be those who are discriminated against.
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Friday evening.
Friday evening, we have a big evening in Hot Springs. Donald Trump is the guest of the Republican Party of Arkansas. We were fortunate that he accepted our invitation. We invited all of our presidential candidates. He was the first to accept. And, of course, at our Reagan-Rockefeller dinner, which is our largest fundraiser of the year, we're not endorsing a particular candidate, but because of our March 1st primary, in which Arkansas will have an impact on the presidential nominees, we are getting attention, and Donald Trump is the second one besides Governor Huckabee, and Governor Huckabee will be back many times. Donald Trump's coming in, and our dinner is now sold out at $150 a ticket. Our reception, in which you could have had your picture made with Donald Trump for $350, is sold out. All of these benefit the Republican Party of Arkansas. It's not a fundraiser for Donald Trump. It'll help us elect more Republicans in Arkansas. We do have some riser seats that are really good seats. I mean, you're going to be able to look Donald Trump in the eye for $75. They're still available. They're going fast. People could just call 501-372-7301 or go to our website, arkansasgop.org, arkansasgop.org, and buy those tickets. That we would have them for them when they got to the dinner at 7 o'clock on Friday night in Hot Springs.
It's going to be quite the event. And how do you think? Wouldn't you love to see a debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton?
Well, you know, that's clearly, and I believe that's one of the reasons he chose to come to Arkansas. Hillary's going to be in the state on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And he's in state on Friday night. Let me say this, something that we learned yesterday, Gail, and no one knows this. You're going to learn this.
Okay.
Those at the dinner will be able to ask Donald Trump questions.
Whoa.
Once he speaks, we'll award him with an Arkansas Traveler and give him one of our 44 Magnum Henry rifles. But then he will open it up for people sitting in the dinner to ask him any question. Okay? It's not a filtered thing. It's not a set-up thing. This is his position, and we've never had a candidate willing to do this before.
Wow.
He said, if you can't take a question from an Arkansas citizen, how can you negotiate an arms deal with Iraq?
Yeah.
Okay? He said, if you're afraid of the American people and the press, how can you ever be president of the United States?
Good point.
So that is the antithesis of Hillary Clinton, who won't give interviews and won't answer questions. Okay? So it's going to be some kind of evening down there, I believe.
And my main question about folks that want to support Hillary Clinton is how on earth can you support a person like her? I mean, we know that Trey Gowdy, he's going to keep pushing until some of those emails are found and read.
Exactly. And, you know, she's been running for president. Now, can she run from her record? And she's doing her best to run from her record. Can we take another 4 years or 8 years of a liberal Democrat presidency? You know,
I'm getting nauseous just thinking about her. You know,
I know, me too. I'm very concerned that we are at the tipping point in next year's election. You know, if we go Hillary or go Democrat, this nation, I think, is lost. We've got to start the road back.
So what has changed in the Democratic Party in the last 50 years? I mean, I remember President Kennedy, and I remember Lyndon Johnson. But it seemed like the Republicans and Democrats actually worked together. I remember the Civil Rights Bill of '64. There's other issues throughout the 60s. Why is there why are they so far to the left, and why are they doing, I mean, there's issues with homeless people. We have human sex trafficking issues. We have issues here at home. We have border insecurity, but yet we worry about same-sex marriage, and we take the time to light the White House in rainbow colors. Come on.
You're right. I think John Kennedy would be shocked at where the Democrat Party is today. I quote his speech many times. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I've gabbed a little bit too long here. We've got about 30 seconds before I have to end the conversation. I want to thank you for your time today, and I want your final thoughts in about 30 to 40 seconds.
Well, I hope people will look at coming to the Donald Trump event, 501-372-7301, ArkansasGOP.org. $75 tickets still available. It's always a pleasure to be with my friends in Baxter County.
It's always a pleasure. Doyle Webb, Chairman of the Republican Party of Arkansas. You're always welcome here. Stop by sometime.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Bye-bye.